My name is Kat Haley. Yeah, I'll start. Hi everyone and welcome. My name is Kat Haley, owner of Kat Haley Cheerleading. I am super excited to do this for the TheCheerBuzz, you know, as a former athlete and definitely what I consider a has-been. It just feels really good to have this chance to kind of reminisce on the past and, you know, talk about some good things that I've been a part of. So let's get started. I've been in the cheerleading industry for 22 years. I've seen a lot, been a part of a lot, been all over the place. I started in 1999 at a little rec team, and after trying many sports and being really bad at all of them, I kind of sprung across cheerleading. I loved it. I had a split, had a pretty mean round off in the grass, and my parents, you know, devoted their life to making sure this was my life because I loved it. I actually signed up for the first All-Star gym in our area in 2003. I was actually the first athlete to sign up for that program. They were called Planet Cheer. I was there for 10 years. My super senior year, I moved down south, went to Kennesaw State University and cheered for the Stingray Allstars Orange. The only year they were medium senior, we were actually undefeated that season, won Worlds. It was the 7th World Championship for Orange. And that following year, I completed my last season ever as an athlete on Rust, which was Open 6, which is now considered Open 7. So I've had a really amazing journey, lots of good times, lots of injuries, lots of goals met. Yeah, so let's just kind of take a blast into the past and talk about it. Okay, so my first routine that I want to talk about, I've, you know, put some thought into this, and I'm like, you know what? My first year as an all-star was awesome because it was the 2003-2004 season. Most of you watching this were probably not even born those years, but we had 8 kids on this team. We didn't even have 30 kids in our whole gym, and this team was the bomb because this was, you know, all of our first year traveling out of state. We had never done, you know, the stunts and tumbling that we had been doing. We only had 2 tumblers on the team, and we were just all friends and we just loved cheer. You know, actually back in the day, there was no levels. So we were junior prep novice, so essentially youth level 2, what would be considered today. And I just look back on this routine, and that routine was just all about no fear. You know, we just tried new things that we had never done before. I had thrown, you know, back handsprings in the routine. I never did a back handspring. That was when I became center jumper and became really passionate about kind of maintaining that spot throughout the years. You know, and I remember doing my first 2-legged extension and walking it around in a circle, and it was like the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. But that year was what built my foundation for cheer. It's what made me love cheer. I was in the gym all the time, making friends, seeing all these other amazing teams in New England. Yeah, so I look back on that year, and although we had this little team of 8 with only a couple of tumblers, it was so memorable and fun. Cheerleading's supposed to be fun, and that year was the foundation of fun for me. The second team I need to talk about, this is probably the most iconic year of my life. Senior in high school, thought I was gonna go cheer for the University of Louisville. Just wasn't feeling good about it, and really deep down I realized that college cheer was just not for me. Didn't grow up, you know, around sideline cheer, always did competitive, always did all-star, and just had this really strong passion to win the cheerleading world. So I, you know, contacted Stingrays and told them that this girl from Maine wanted to be on their best team, and I think they probably thought it was a little bit crazy, but I had just sent in a video to Infinity Legends. I had just made Infinity Legends, which was amazing. This was actually the first year of it, and so I was able to send that video in, and I made orange, which was just wild. They had never done something like that before. They'd never taken people from out of state. It was just, you know, down there you don't really super senior, you cheer, you go to college. And I wanted to kind of change the game because Orange for me was just the best team in the game, you know, just multiple world championships and pretty unstoppable. So this was actually the first and only year they've been medium. And this routine was just, it was so emotional for me. Every step of the way was emotional for me, from the time I got my uniform to my first bag to, you know, sitting in the coach's room, listening to our music for the first time. I remember getting teared up. And this routine was just skill, skill, skill. I mean, I don't think Orange had ever had this many numbers before. My main role on the team was tumbling. I actually missed a lot of time over the summer being back and forth from Maine and Connecticut, or Georgia. I live in Connecticut now. So my main role was tumbling, and I was okay with it because that was my thing. Loved tumbling. Loved it. That was really my specialty. So this was the most special to me because it was the year I felt the most confident. I was so conditioned and taught so well by these people, you know, perfection over progression, before progression rather, and all these fine details that I'd never been taught before, and I had never felt more prepared or more strong in my entire life. So it started out this routine. I did a double full to the front, went right into a standing full at Worlds. We ended up doing toe touch 2 to doubles. I was center for that, 5 jumps to back, and my running tumbling pass was a half through to double. So it was such an honor to be a part of this routine, and you know, the definitely pinnacle of my cheer career. All right, the third and final team to talk about is Stingray's Rust. So this was kind of a unexpected team for me. After I came back from Worlds with Orange, I was just really tired. You know, obviously made the pinnacle of cheerleading and won Worlds and was just, thought I was done, you know, and then kind of the fall hit and I was missing my friends and, you know, missing throwing my body around, and I decided to kind of join Rust. So I loved this team for all of the opposite reasons that I loved Orange. Orange was so competitive and, you know, so focused, and the goal was to be on top, and Rust was also really competitive, but we were just such good friends. You know, it was laid back, competitive, and this was such a great year for me because I was able to do things I'd never competed before. I was able to really cross off a lot of things on my bucket list. So at the beginning of the season, we competed at Cheer Sport. I was able to compete a 1 to double. I think that was the first time I'd ever competed a 1 to double. And then I, again, did a lot of tumbling, 1 to double, 2 to double, went into jumps, standing full, front through to double. But then I was also able to compete a double full basket for the first time, and also a co-ed full up to lib. So those were a couple things that were just on my bucket list to just do and say I did them. And the encouragement I had on this team was incredible. I mean, I cheered with, you know, people on this team that had competed on Team USA and, you know, had all this amazing co-ed stunning experience that I did not grow up having. You know, that's co-ed stunning is pretty limited in the Northeast. And the encouragement and the, you know, the knowledge that I gained on that team to be a better flyer has, you know, is something I'll never forget. That for me was just a really great year to finish. Unfortunately, actually, I ended up tearing my ACL 3 weeks before Worlds. I did compete at Worlds on a torn ACL. We did not know it was torn. At that point, it was my 3rd ACL tear, my 3rd meniscus tear, but we didn't know either of these things. So I wouldn't say I had stability. I guess I could walk. I wasn't really dealing with a lot of pain. And I ended up doing a 2 to full, round of handspring full, and my basket, as well as that full up lib. And I have to tell you, that full up lib was so hard because I had, you know, literally my knee was just shaking in the air. I had no idea what was wrong. So that was an unfortunate ending for me, but also just, you know, kind of a big deal. You know, I competed at Worlds on a torn ACL and, you know, caused no problems. And we ended up placing 3rd in US trials and then not making it to the 3rd day. But I just learned so much from that team, and I will never forget that season. So that's it. That's a little bit about my past. You know, I really treasure my cheerleading career because, you know, I grew up and I wasn't an athlete. And I came across cheer unexpectedly and just found this love for it and had this amazing support from my parents, my coaches that I grew up with. I ended up, you know, being this small town kid from Maine that won Worlds with one of the best cheerleading teams in the world. Now I get to do this for a living. So I'm just so grateful that I've seen all aspects of cheer. I've seen the small gym life, the large gym life, and I've learned that, you know, you can love the sport in any capacity. You can learn anything anywhere. So I'm grateful to anyone that took the time to watch this video today. I'm grateful to anyone that's been a part of my career. And if you guys ever need anything, follow me at CatHaleyCheerleading.com. You can find me on Facebook as well, take any of my classes, or hire me to travel. All right, thanks guys. Mwah.